Welcome to Hilton Coliseum for Game 2 of the season.
And then, of course, Milan Momcilovic had a fantastic game for the Cyclones. 18 points, 6 for 7 from 3, made him in a variety of ways. The freshman had a fantastic debut for Iowa State, looking to do that again tonight.
Large deficits to fight their way into certain games. We are set for action with Terry Oglesby, Amy Bonner, and Anthony Eads, the officials tonight. And it's Tamin Lipsey and the Cyclones who have the ball to get things underway in game number 2 of the campaign. Lipsey on the handoff to Keyshawn Gilbert, another newcomer who had an outstanding game for the Cyclones on Monday night. Cyclones look to get the ball inside, and they do, and it's a jam by Hassan Ward.
Yeah, and an end one right there, and a great job on the screen and roll by Lipsey and Hassan Ward. I think they're going to try to get Hassan going earlier tonight. Didn't have many points the other night, was active defensively, but they want to get him going offensively tonight, and they sure did on the first possession.
They certainly did, and a foul called as well, so a chance and an and one for Hassan Ward. As you mentioned, just one shot against Green Bay on Monday and missed that one. So Ward with the first 2 for the Cyclones, and here come the Lions. They're located in St. Charles, Missouri, which is just outside the St. Louis area, a St. Louis suburb. And again, making what's not an easy transition from Division II to Division I, especially when you play a Power 5 team like Iowa State. Johnson on the bounce pass to Keith Heyman II, who could not play on Monday night when the Lions played at Nebraska and lost 84-62. Lead feed and the layup missed by Keyshawn Gilbert, and bringing it the other way is Keenan Cole, who you mentioned was the leading scorer at Nebraska the other night for the Lions with 14 points.
Yeah, great look there by Lipsey up the floor. Keyshawn just couldn't quite finish it.
The Lions like to get the ball inside offensively, and that's what the Cyclones are trying to do tonight, but they're facing a relentless Cyclone defense. Lipsey leads the break, flips it back to Momcilovic, who misfires. The offensive rebound taken down by Trey King, and the Cyclones will reload.
Yeah, great job managing the offense there. They didn't quite get it, got it out, didn't have anything, so let's go ahead and reset and see if we can get a good look out of this possession.
Shot clock is down to 6 as Lipsey pulls up, fires and scores.
And Cyclone fans love that, Larry, because we all know that Tamin was a 20% three-point shooter last year, was okay but not great off the ball screen. Hits a great pull-up jumper right there. We do know he was 2 for 2 from 3 last week.
He put a lot of work into it in the offseason. He knew what he had to work on, and he did. The ball tipped away and picked up by Hassan Ward. The Cyclones force a turnover. Good feed underneath. Lipsey is open to score.
Great look, great spacing, and you're going to see Lindenwood Lions are going to want to do a lot of pick and roll tonight, try to get that ball in the paint, but that might play right into the Cyclones because of their length and their activity.
Shooting off the dribble is Cole, and the one-and-done rebound taken down by Lipsey. Lipsey 7 assists and just 1 turnover the other night against Green Bay. That's kind of traditional for him, isn't it, though? It's kind of game.
Yeah, it's what he does, it's what Cyclone fans are used to, and he's just been such a great floor general, but he's also the head of that snake, whether it's the offensive side of the ball or defensive. That's what Tamin's going to do for him.
Bean runs down the rebound, and the shot won't go by Nathan Johnson Jr. And again, the Cyclones really hitting the boards well early, and it's just one and done when Lindenwood gets a shot.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to get rebounds tonight against Iowa State just because of their length and their athleticism, and they're going to try to put bodies on people so they can get out and run, because the Cyclones will look to do that a bit more now than they did a year ago.
Lindenwood runs the pack line defense. Lipsey shoots over it and nails another 3.
Yeah, when he gets the ball up, and he has done that now, he's 3 for 3 on the year, and we've seen them all. When he gets the ball up, it's gone in. That he's just so much better at that than he was a year ago. Someone on staff, or a lot of staff, has done a great job at Tamin, and of course, he's taking care of the work.
And here was a guy who made but 5 3-pointers last season in 25 tries.
Yeah, you're right. I believe he was 5 for 25, and he's 3 for 3. So that's just like a big breath of fresh air, along with Gilbert and along with Jones now coming in the game. Those guys just give him so much more on the perimeter than what they've had. So Cyclones fan have a lot to look forward to and see how that builds along the way.
I mean, the full line for Lipsey the other night: 12 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 turnover, 2 steals, and a block.
Yeah, stat stuffer, and we'll see how much he continues that and builds upon it in November and December.
Momcilovic getting the ball off to Robert Jones, who is always the first man off the bench, almost always, for T.J. Otzelberger. Here's Momcilovic with the shot, and he rains down his first 3 of the night. after hitting 6 out of 7 against Green Bay.
Yeah, and they got Heyman on him right now, and he kind of got into help side defense, which is kind of what you do every single day in practice, but you're going to have to stay close to Milan. You can't get that far off because on skip passes, he'll get an open look just like he did.
Tried to penetrate with the pass inside. The ball batted away, but Lindenwood retains possession with 12 on the shot clock. That shot won't go from the corner. A scrap for the rebound. The ball out of bounds, and it's last touched by the Lions. You mentioned Lindenwood losing at Nebraska 84-52. Coach Kyle Gerdeman thought they got overwhelmed early and then played much better in the second half. Cyclones on top 12-0 early. You're watching college basketball on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. Cyclone blitz early in a 12-0 lead over Lindenwood. And of course, the Cyclones under the third-year direction of T.J. Otzelberger. And you see his record 42-27. Remember, took over a program that had won only 2 the previous year. And of course, has a long history at Iowa State, 2 stints as an assistant before a couple of head coaching performances.
Yeah, before here, he was at UNLV, and before that was at South Dakota State. So, TJ's done a great job wherever he's been. He's always had a defensive identity, but now he's added a whole bunch of offensive pieces to the Cyclone basketball team. So it's going to be a really interesting November, December as they gear up for a really tough and strong run through the Big 12.
Another of the 9 newcomers, Omaha Ballou, checks into the Cyclone lineup, and of course he's received a lot of preseason publicity. Struggled with foul problems in the opener. Here's a turnaround jump shot that's hit nothing but net for Milan Momcilovic.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough matchup, and for a lot of people, when you're going to be 6'7" or 6'8", and you're doing that, you can fade away and create that space. The make or miss is really on you. The defense doesn't have a lot to do with it. So that's going to be a tough matchup for a lot of people, regardless of level.
Here's the pull-up jump shot by Dean that goes down. Darius Bean, whose dad's an assistant coach on this team for the Lions, gets their first point almost 5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, a really great play. They're trying to get to the paint, then rose up over his defender. So good play there by Bean.
Ballou slips a pass inside to Momcilovic. The turnaround is there.
Well, he's gone over either shoulder, and he's done it off both sides on the baseline. So that and a 3, he's off and running again.
Lions on the attack. Again, 6-12 last year in their first year in the Ohio Valley Conference, but they overcame a couple of big deficits. They're down by 17-1. They were down twice by 20-1. And there is a travel or an offensive foul, making it an offensive foul instead.
Yeah, that's almost twofold. Number 1, the screen was probably moving. Number 2, I forget who the ball handler was, probably came off a little too quick. Doesn't let the defender, or doesn't let the screener get set, so it's a foul on the screener. So a little bit twofold on that play.
Kyle Gerdeman has the big task, and you know all about that from your coaching career. Taking a program from Division II to Division I.
Yeah, it's not easy because you have to do so many things over a 4-year period to be able to compete at the level you want to compete at. But Coach Gerdeman, before here was at Central Michigan, before that was in the junior college ranks, has a lot of respect throughout the college ranks of someone who can take this program to where it wants to go. Coach Gerdeman is that guy.
Bean trying to go one-on-one with Lipsey, shoots over him and banks off too hard, and Tamin Lipsey pulls down the rebound. Cyclones on the attack with the feet inside to Jones. He leaves it short on the rim, and going high to pull down the rebound is Keenan Cole, second team All-Ohio Valley Conference a year ago. Ball rejected outside. Johnson scrapping for it. Has it taken away from him by Curtis Jones. And then a loose ball at the other end. It's still rolling around, and it goes out of bounds, and it belongs to Iowa State.
Hey, great hustle by both teams, though, Larry. I love watching them on the floor. Ball's going everywhere, but you know what? It doesn't matter. It's 16-2. Both teams are flying on the floor, getting after it, and that's what we want.
Colin Ruffin comes onto the court, and Tommy Williams, number 1 and number 3, respectively, for the Lions. At Nebraska on Monday night, Coach Kyle Gerdeman used 10 different players in the first 6 minutes. He wants to get everybody into the flow early.
He wants to get them going and get in and get the jitters off and play in front of a big crowd, because you're not going to do that every single night in the Ohio Valley. So he's just trying to get as many guys, as many minutes as he can, build upon these 2 games, get back home, and go from there. Demarion
Watson comes in for Iowa State. The Cyclones scoring the first 14 points in this ball game. And up right now, 16-2. In the lane, the long feed comes for Trey King.
And he did. He extended his arm to go get that ball. So that was a foul on Demarion, but I'll tell you what, DG loves what he brings. He's a defensive stopper. Says he's probably the second best defender on the team to Lipsey, so he brings a lot to this basketball team, along with his size, athleticism, and his rebounding.
Only the first foul called against Iowa State. Here's Keenan Cole trying to get something going for Lindenwood. He is their leading scorer, so they look for him to get something accomplished. Tommy Williams now on the dribble as the shot clock once again goes inside 10. If you're in your second year of Division I, you're facing one of the relentless defenses of the country. It's not easy, and it has not been, certainly tonight for the Lions, a takeaway by Trey King.
No, it's not. Every time you think Lindenwood might have an edge on somebody, there's another Cyclone right there. And one thing they're always going to do defensively is they're going to put their body on you, and they're going to make you feel them.
Nice high post pass going from Gilbert to Trey King. And Lindenwood would like a timeout at the 13:05 mark, trailing by a score of 18-2. And the Cyclones have been terrific early.
Oh, yeah, they've been unbelievable. You know, you talk about them coming out of the timeout. You know, they have 4 assists and 0 turnovers, and Lindenwood was exactly the opposite of that. So Lindenwood wants to play pick and roll. They want to try to get the ball to the paint. That's going to be hard against this very aggressive Cyclone defense. But now let's turn the page and go the other direction. What Iowa State wants to do is keep you out of the paint. So they're going to focus on that pick and roll, try to get after you, but then offensively, they're going to try to get to the paint. And now that they have some more shooters on the perimeter, it's going to open it up down there. And that's why we've seen so many drop downs and so many easy passes to the rim for Iowa State.
Exactly the thing that TJ Oxelberger talked with us about that they wanted to accomplish tonight. So far, they've done it. Tamin Lipsey and Milan Machilovic doing an outstanding job, each with 7 points total thus far for the Cyclones, who open up a 18-2 advantage at the 13:05 mark.
Yeah, and Iowa State, you know, they're not going to let up on you. They're going to turn right now. They're going to try to put some pressure on you, make it hard to get it in. Now they might just go man all the way back, but they want to show themselves on dead balls and free throws.
Williams into the offensive end. He hands it off to Jeremiah Talton, who started at Nebraska the other night, but is coming off the bench tonight. Talton with a 10-point effort at Nebraska on Monday. Talton for 3, has it blocked, and the rebound is taken by Keyshawn Gilbert. Then a foul call, trying to get it back against Colin Ruffin. That'd be the 3rd foul called against the Lions. Then the Cyclones playing outstanding defense, but still just 1 foul.
Yeah, and now with Tamin on the bench, you know, Keyshawn Gilbert played a lot of point guard the other night, along with Curtis Jones. So it gives the Cyclones a lot of flexibility with these 3 guards and how they could be all play together or also be interchangeable.
Gilbert debuted with 17 points, a couple of assists, a couple of steals, and it rolls in.
Yeah, and that's what he does right there. He can score a little bit from the perimeter, but he's a fantastic driver. He's great in pick and roll, and you give him a little bit of space, he can explode and find some room.
He is a transfer from UNLV. Played there a couple of years. The drive by Talton, and he makes the shot off the baseline. Jeremiah Talton, just the 2nd bucket thus far for the Lions.
No doubt about it, and a big-time basket by Jeremiah to go in there against that length and get it over the top and get it to go. A big hoop for him.
Machilovic on the come around, looks for some help inside. Was looking that time for Hassan Ward, but the ball is picked off. The 3 try by Talton, and he has come off the bench and provided some offense for the Lions.
Yep, need a little bit of that. A great play there. Great way to set your feet, and then he had his feet set for the 3-pointer. Great play.
Machilovic gets it off to Gilbert at the top. Gilbert down the lane, weaves his way, has the ball deflected out of bounds, and it belongs to, once again, to Iowa State. Timeout on the court, 11.5 left to play in the opening half. All Cyclones thus far, and you are watching college basketball on Big 12 now on ESPN+. Cyclones led all 40 minutes against Green Bay, and they have led for the first 8.5 minutes of this one.
Yeah, they've done that. You know, they've done a great job coming out of the gates tonight. And you know, the one thing, because Lindenwood wants to play pick and roll, like we talked about earlier, they want to get the ball to the paint. But what they've found out is they're always going to be another body there. So now you look at their shots, 9 out of 9 shots, 6 have been from 3. So now they're going to start to settle a little bit from 3 just to get one up. We'll see how far that takes them.
Curtis Jones works the ball on top to Gilbert as play resumes. Tamin Lipsey off to a big start. On the high post, he comes to Ward. Shot by Machilovic won't go. He was 6 of 7 the other night. You can't expect that from him every night.
No, you can't every night. You almost hear the crowd groaning because they expect it as well. So, but you know, he made it 3 in a lot of ways the other night. But he'll get his feet underneath him and get going here soon.
Bean almost had the ball taken away, and the Cyclones once again almost come up with a turnover, but Gilbert can't keep it inbounds, and so the Lions will keep it. They've already turned the ball over 6 times compared to the Cyclones 2.
Yeah, and you saw it right there. Once they get that ball down into that paint, there are bodies and hands everywhere. That's been really hard on Lindenwood.
And there's no way to replicate the Cyclone defense if you're Lindenwood.
No, you can't do that. The only way they could do that was against Nebraska the other night. So I'm sure they watched that film. And Coach Gerdeman said he felt they played much better in the second half after they had a feel for what they were up against. So they're going to fight like crazy this half and then just be who you are and see if you can play a little bit better here as we continue.
They have 9 seconds to shoot. The pick set by Cole. Bean may not recognize the time because we're down to 3 seconds. Now he does. He sees it, has it deflected. Lipsey runs the break and he gets fouled, and Tamin Lipsey will go to the line.
Yeah, so fast and a great outlet pass. I believe, was that King who's in the game that threw that to him?
Yes.
Yeah, you know, great play. It was even tipped a little bit here by Tamin and didn't even take a dribble. Boom, gets to the rim, gets fouled, go and shoot 2.
Tommy Williams commits the foul. Tamin Lipsey, unanimous all Big 12 freshman team a season ago. And the sophomore from Ames knocks down his 8th point of this first half. Ward out, and Rob Jones comes in, or Big Rob Energy they like to call him.
They love to call him Big Rob Energy because a couple minutes at a time he's going to come in and give you everything. So we talked about this a little bit earlier too. Lipsey, Jones, and Gilbert all in the game at the same time. So you'll see that guard play, all 3 of them here. See how that works.
Williams on the dribble. He gives it up for Jeremiah Talton. Talton missing inside. He has 2 of the 3 baskets that the Lions have been able to accomplish thus far. Ruffin about ready to come back into the lineup for Lindenwood. Here's the penetration by Jones. He turns, fires, and misses. And the rebound is pulled out of the air by Jalen McDaniel, a junior college transfer from Northwest Florida State. Williams trying to penetrate. There's just no penetrating the Cyclone defense right now for Lindenwood.
No, it's not. Another example right there. They're just going to try to shoot over the top of all that pressure and all that size. So they got to start getting some of those to go if that's going to be the plan.
They're not given much of a choice, are they, but to shoot from the perimeter?
No, they're not. But give them credit. They're trying their pick and roll. They're trying to get to where they want the ball to get it. They're just going to have to settle on some threes here.
Ruffin comes in, and so does Keith Heyman II. Again, Heyman did not play against Nebraska, but Coach Kyle Gerdeman really has high hopes for him. Transfer from Northern Arizona, where he played 98 games in a 3-season stretch.
Yes, says he can shoot the basketball. Says it's not the prettiest shot in the world, but it seems to go in. So we'll see how he plays here tonight, and they're going to need him to do that.
Spin move, the pass off to Jones, and Jones gets fouled.
Yeah, good job by Jones. Finding an open spot when Tamin drove it. Somebody went to help. Jones found open spot, had his hands ready because he knows Tamin's going to throw that he's going to deliver that basketball. And look, he had his hands ready and going up for the almost three-point play.
And that foul whistled against Isaac Ondekanye, his first foul. And Jones has the free throw hit the front rim and drop in.
And the fans are going ecstatic, Larry. We all know Big Rob Energy wasn't the greatest at the line last year. He might have been over 2 the other night, but if he can get 1 for 2, they'll go crazy, and they're going to go nuts right now.
But you know, on Monday night, he had all of his field goals and missed all 3 of his free throws. But tonight, he starts off 2 for 2.
Yep, but this is where he does his yeoman's work right here. This is when he comes out and provides everything for the Cyclones.
Ondekanye on the handoff to Ware. And a foul called on Iowa State.
Yeah, just an aggressive foul there. Milan went all the way across the floor to help on that spin. Just couldn't quite close that trap.
So Lindenwood will play it in with 20 seconds on the shot clock, 9 1/4 left to play in the first half. Off the inbounds, a nice feed and a nice shot by Keith Heyman.
Yeah, Keith Heyman, you know, they missed him the other night in Nebraska not playing, but you can see right there where they could have used him. They said he can really shoot the basketball.
Again, he had a concussion protocol. That's why he didn't play Monday, but he has been cleared, and they are really happy to have him back. Here's Jones with a very deep 3 that hits nothing but net. Curtis Jones knocks down a 3.
Yeah,
he missed all 5 of his shots Monday night, but is on fire thus far tonight.
No doubt about it. They talked about him all through the preseason, about how well he'd been playing, and about how well he'd been shooting the basketball. So I think he just had an off night the other night, according to TJ as well. So he's looking forward to more nights like that from Curtis Jones.
Odekanye hands it off to Ware. Ware, a senior out of Milford, Virginia. Once again, the shot clock winding down. It's down to 2. It's down to 1. And that shot by Bean is no good. He did get it off before the shot clock expired. Just barely. The ball out of bounds off of Iowa State's Robert Jones.
Yeah, Bean has driven that ball down to about 12 or 13 feet a couple times and has risen over the defender. He just hasn't gotten a fall yet, but has gotten a couple good looks driving it down.
Marion Watson, who has a basket early in the ball game, comes back in, and Curtis Jones will leave. Watson, the sophomore from Maple Grove, Minnesota, averaged almost 2 points a ball game for the Cyclones a season ago. Bean takes the inbounds feed. Of course, his dad, an assistant coach at Lindenwood, but you remember him from Big 8 days, don't you?
Oh, he was a great player at Kansas State for Dana Altman, who was at Creighton and then now out at Oregon. So he was a fantastic player. As a kid, I loved watching him play.
And Keenan Cole, the leading scorer for Lindenwood the other night, scores his first of this night.
Yeah, the guy we featured earlier, so good for Keenan. He'd like to get another 14 tonight if he can.
Michilovich with a baseline feed for Ballou, has the ball stripped from him. It's picked up by Darius Bean. The Cyclones do a good job getting back in transition, but commit a foul in the process. Omaha Ballou commits the foul. And so when we return to action, it will be Lindenwood with the basketball, trailing by 13. You're watching college basketball on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. Cyclones with a 26-13 lead over Lindenwood. Pleased to be joined on our broadcast crew tonight by Michaela Kafer. Michaela, what you got for us?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, so actually Associate Head Coach Anthony Bean has been joined this season with his son, a senior transfer, Darius Bean. Head Coach Gerdeman had shared that Coach Bean has to often walk the line between father and coach, but he also gets to enjoy his son's last basketball season alongside him. Thanks. Back to you guys.
And of course, when you're the son of a coach and you want to play for dad, that means you move around a little bit.
Yeah,
and Darius Bean has played at Northern Illinois, Southern Illinois, and transferred to Lindenwood from Cal State Northridge.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. So he's used to it. He knows the gig. He knows how it works. But then having those guys together here for the last year, I think is fantastic for both of them. So good for them. They get to spend a lot of time. But then give Lindenwood some credit here after a really slow start. Got the legs under him a little bit. I've gotten a couple threes to go in, another bucket. And they're battling on the glass. It's 10-9 right now, Iowa State. They only got beat by 4 on the glass the other night at Nebraska. So they need to continue that here throughout this game.
Yeah, they got down 20-2, and since then have done a good job hanging with the Cyclones. Here's Ruffin handing it off to Cole. Cole with the penetration. He spins, runs into a Cyclone, but shoots and scores anyway.
Yeah.
Nice move by Keenan Cole.
Really good move. And once he spun, boom, here comes another body by Iowa State, and they're going to put their body on you. But he had great control, great timing, and maybe the biggest of all, great patience.
So the Cyclones' early lead of 18 down to 11, and pulling up and misfiring is Momcilovic. And a foul is spotted on the Cyclones in the scrap for the loose basketball as Curtis Jones picks up the foul.
Yeah, and see this play right here. Just patience, feels it, and then finally gets a little bit of space to get that up. So Cole with a great move down there right around the rim.
Cole started his career at Northern Illinois and then went to Polk State, a community college. Now in his second year at Lindenwood and was second team All-OVC last year when he averaged almost 13 points and 6 rebounds a game. So he's the key for the Lions to have some success this year.
Yeah, and he's done that here in the first 2 games so far.
Ball batted away with 6:59 to go in the half. 13 on the shot clock as inbounding will be Darius Bean. Cyclones make a change. Hassan Ward, the senior from St. Thomas, Barbados, back into the lineup, replacing Rob Jones. I asked him before the season, Robert or Rob, which do you prefer? He says, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does matter to him. I'm going to play hard. I'm going to disrupt. I'm going to make it hard on the other team. That's all I want to do.
Bean off the baseline. McDaniel fights for the rebound, but it's taken away from him by Milan Momcilovic.
Bean takes it down there, and there were 4 Cyclones coming at him. They were just gravitating to that basketball.
That pass tipped as Gilbert tried to get it over to Trey King.
Yeah, Gilbert tried to probably be a little bit too, I want to give that ball up right there. I think he could have got to the rim and scored that.
Keyshawn Gilbert, a transfer from UNLV. He's number 10. And again, very exciting player. Brings a lot to the Cyclones. From the lane, on the pass from Chilovic, the score.
Well, a great job there by Chilovic, because he caught it, and what he got to do, he better run at him, even though he's missed a couple. So 2 ran at him, dropped it down to Hassan Ward, easy basket. So when you can shoot it, it's just going to open up other things within that offense.
Second basket for Ward in this first half. Ruffin being hounded defensively by Gilbert. Chilovic has the defense on Cole, who shoots over him and buries it.
Yeah, got that, but Chilovic needs to get up just a little bit more on that. Cole's starting to get going here a little bit, so who is going to step up and take that away?
And you got to give Lindenwood a lot of credit. They started off horrendously, down 20-2, and now they're back for them 10 at 28-18.
Yep, huge fight, no quit. Coach Gritterman's got that going in his team.
And a takeaway by Colin Ruffin. Ruffin with the pitch for Cole. Cole on the drive. And he will go to the line with a foul called.
Yeah, and again, starting to call his name here a bunch. So again, someone's going to step up and try to take him away. Great play here. Just drop down pass. Cole right to the rim, right through contact. Doesn't score it, but stopping the clock. Going to go and try to get 2.
Cole from Steamwood, Illinois originally. 5 of 16 the other night against Nebraska to get his 14 points, but tonight off to a much better start.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Making as many baskets, but in a much more efficient manner, which just helps everybody else.
Yes, he's hit 3 of 5 thus far, and one of those are 3, and he's hit 2 of those are 3, I should say. Cole knocks them both down, and it's an 8-point ball game.
Yeah, and you know, Coach Gritterman told us it's probably not the prettiest shot in the road when he shoots it. You can see it from the line, but it seems to go in. So keep doing what you're doing.
So what's happened to the Cyclone offense?
Well, you know what? I don't think they're moving it as much. I don't think they've gotten the ball from side to side, haven't gotten as many clean looks, and they haven't gotten a top down for a while just because they're taking maybe a couple quicker shots than normal.
McDaniel with the skip pass. The 3 try by Heyman. And the rebound run down by Ruffin. Took it away from Jones. Baseline feed to McDaniel. McDaniel hounded by Ward. Gilbert comes over to help defensively, and the Cyclones get the rebound. Gilbert working against the man-to-man defense of Bean. They try for a takeaway as they try to double team him. And the ball batted out of bounds. And a foul is called as well, and that's against Jalen McDaniel.
Yeah, that was great hustle, but really good defense here by Bean. Keeping Gilbert in front and on him just trying to back him down and back him down. Chested him up, and made him do something different. I know we had a foul at the end, but that's exactly what Coach Gritterman and his staff want out of everybody.
Talton and Odekanye back onto the floor for Lindenwood. The pull-up, nothing but cord by Milan Momcilovic.
Yeah, and he's done it 4 ways. He's done a pull-up, he's done a fadeaway on one side, he's done a fadeaway on another side, and then he's hit another spot-up 3. So he is scoring in a variety of ways right now.
And that is a 9-point night for him. Cyclones lead back to double digits. So though Iowa State's offense has not been stellar, their defense has been, holding Lindenwood to just 20 points. Almost 16 minutes into the game.
Yeah, you know, they're always going to do that. That's going to be their staple, and they want to do that all the time. So got a timeout here, though.
It comes with 4:09. There was only 3 on the shot clock, so the timeout taken as well. You're watching college basketball by 10 at 30-20, 4:09 to go in the first half. And Coach, I think you did a good job picking the highlight player for Lindenwood tonight.
Well, I'm not going to say it was me. It was probably somebody upstairs, but he's done a really good job tonight. As you see, 3 for 5 for 10 points, really efficient. The rest of the team, same amount of points, just not quite as efficient shooting the basketball. So, yeah, when you look at it like that, maybe he gets 2 pizzas on the bus on the way home tonight, Larry.
Unless you got there first.
Unless I get there first, I got no problem eating pizza.
Only 3 other players have scored for the Lions, by the way, as Ruffin about to inbound. Again, this was a team down 20-2, went on an 18-8 run, and now they're trailing by a dozen as Cole lets fly. Too hard off the backboard, and the ball goes out of bounds. Last touched by Lindenwood's Jeremy Talton.
Yeah, you knew unless they got something really lucky, it was going to be a tough look at the rim on that with just 3 seconds to go, taking that ball out of bounds at the 28-foot line.
Momchilevich and Lipsey bring it up for the Cyclones with Gilbert. Hassan Ward also in there for Iowa State. Tried to get in the middle of it again. The long arms of Darius Bean there for the interception.
Yeah, they're coming down on one side. They're looking to score, make a scoring play, or getting the ball in the scoring area right away. Just not moving it as much as they did early to get a lot of those open looks.
This is a Lindenwood team that was down 26 at Nebraska on Monday, but they've really certainly played much better tonight. Cole drives all the way to the basket, hits the shot, and he will go to the line for an and one.
Yeah, and I did not see that. Looks like he was set, but maybe he was in the restricted area is what I'm thinking there. And I know that block charge rule has changed this year, and there's a lot of people talking about it right now.
Yeah, basically, if I can describe it as simply as I can, a defender has to be in that legal guarding position before the player who's airborne hits his plant or his second foot on the ground.
That's exactly right. When that takeoff foot hits the ground, you have to be there, you have to be set, and I'm just going to say this right now, when in doubt, it's going to be a block. It just is. You're going to see a lot of that this year. At least that's the way it's playing out to this point, because I've talked to officials and I've talked to coaches, so it's definitely a point of discussion.
You know, the officials I've talked to, they like the rule because what is harder for them than the block charge call?
It's always been the hardest. It's always been bang, bang. It'll take a lot of indecisiveness out of that. So hopefully that's what they're gearing up to happen.
Momentary timeout as Amy Bonner goes over to the official scorers table. And I think they're questioning.
I think the ball went in.
That's what I thought it was this should be a one-shot foul, and they didn't count it initially as a basket. I agree with you. I think he made the shot and then got fouled in the act.
Unless you're going to give him the ball out of bounds. Maybe they say it was on the pass. I don't know. It couldn't have been on the pass because it went in.
Definitely went in.
Yeah.
And the ball goes out of bounds to Iowa State.
Yeah, a lot of good length around that out-of-bounds play by Omaha Blue on that. So they'll always put a lot of length on the basketball on the baseline out-of-bounds plays, make it tough for teams to throw it in, and especially towards the rim in the scoring area.
Jones back in for Iowa State. That's Robert Jones there too now, so we have to differentiate from time to time as Gilbert buries a three.
Yeah, and the first time I've seen that double high from the elbow coming up and give Tamin a chance to work off of either screen, whichever way he wants. One big will dive, one big will pop, and then they find Gilbert, who's spaced in the corner. Great find by Tamin, great spot up by Gilbert.
Gilbert, I thought, really impressive the other night against Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean, he shoots it a little bit, but I'll tell you what, he can get the ball downhill. He can get the ball to the paint. He can beat a defender, make people help, set his feet, and find other guys. So he's a different dimension for Iowa State.
Jones gets the foul, by the way.
Yeah, right there is the pop, the throwback, and then one more on that great spacing by Iowa State, putting those guys in the corners. Playing that middle third of the floor, and if you can get going towards the rim and get someone to help, one quick pass and you can get a shot up.
Isaac Odekanye to the free throw line for Lindenwood and has his first point of the night.
Yeah, got her up, used all the rim, used all the air, and got that one to go, Larry.
He is from the Congo, went to Butler County Community College in Kansas, spent a year at the Sunrise Christian Academy in St. Louis, his first year as a Lion, one of 9, make it 8 first-year players on the Lions roster.
Yeah, you're going to see that a lot of times when teams are going through the transition. And trying to get Gilbert going there again. They just tried to get him on a wipe and go. Good job by Lindenwood cutting that off.
Lipsey gets the shot, leans in, gets the contact as well, and has a chance at an and one.
Yeah, I mean, he came in very good athletically, you know, very well in the weight room, but you can tell what Tamin has done with that move right there in the offseason is dedicated himself to the weight room for balance, for strength and all of that to be able to get there, take a hit, and yet put enough touch on the ball to finish. It's a really good play by Tamin.
Lipsey averaged 7 points a game last year. We mentioned his three-point shooting, something he really worked on. He's buried a couple tonight. or at least one tonight, and knocked down that free throw. A three-point play gives him 11, gives the Cyclones a 13-point lead as Iowa State presses.
Yeah, and here's Iowa State, again, just making it hard for you to get it in. They'll let you get it to here, but they want to make it hard on you to get it in just so you know that they're looking at you every time.
Nice takeaway that time by Omaha Ballou. The lead feed to Lipsey.
Yeah, great takeaway by Omaha and a great pass getting up the floor to a streaking Tamin Lipsey.
Ballou the other night got into early foul trouble, wind up fouling out. Seems to be much more at ease tonight than he did on Monday night.
No doubt about that. Just gotten some early foul trouble, was probably excited, was reaching a little bit, but tonight a lot more under control.
Cole pulls up, Jones gets the block, Jones gets the loose basketball, and Gilbert leads the Cyclone attack.
And if you're struggling offensively, Gilbert's made one basket, but now they've gotten going offensively off of their defense. That's what Iowa State's going to do.
Bullet pass that time from Gilbert, a little too hot for Ballou to handle, with the ball out of bounds off the Lions, and so Iowa State will play with 21 on the shot clock. Trey King comes back into the lineup for the Cyclones, and Ballou will leave. King, good night the other night against Green Bay. 13 points, 8 rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds. Has not scored tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about that. But he's going to keep coming at you and putting a body on it and doing those things defensively and getting rebounds, and those points will come for him.
Lipsey thought about a three. Instead, he lets Curtis Jones let fly from three. The offensive rebound taken down by Trey King. Penetration by Lipsey, scores again.
Yep, Lipsey had gotten to the paint. He maybe had a look, but then took one more hard dribble and finished at the rim. So a really great under control play.
15 points for Tamin Lipsey as we near halftime. And from the floor, he is 6 out of 8.
And give Iowa State credit. In the last 4 or 5 minutes, they've really taken back control of this basketball game. And besides one good offensive set, it's all started on this end.
It got down to an 8-point margin briefly, but the Cyclones, as you say, have spurted. Jones with another rebound for Iowa State, and Tamin Lipsey, who has 4 assists and no turnovers in addition to his 15 first-half points, lobs the ball for Jones, and Jones has an open path to the basket.
And those looks you're going to get in the middle third of the floor when you have Gilbert, you have Curtis Jones out there, and you have Lipsey out there, guys who can now all shoot the basketball, just a whole different dimension.
An explosion by Iowa State here in the waning moments of the first half. It was 30-22, and since then, Iowa State has outscored Lindenwood 12-1.
Yeah, great play right there. Look at Robert grabbing that under control, then going up and just dunking that basketball. A good play by Tamin Lipsey. And again, Robert Jones, he knows it's going to come, has his hands ready because he knows Tamin can deliver that basketball.
Cyclone fans have already heard a lot about Milan Momcilovic, and they're going to hear more from him at halftime. So stay tuned for that interesting conversation with the freshman from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah, player of the game the other night came over and spoke to us just for a couple minutes and a couple questions. Just a really nice young man. It was good to talk to him after that game.
Cole with 16 on the shot clock lets it fly in and out, and there is a foul called on the Lions underneath. Push-off spotted on McDaniel trying to get the rebound. So Iowa State with 33.7 to play in the first half. We'll have the basketball as David Ware comes in for Lindenwood, replacing Colin Ruffin. Cyclones next in action on Sunday afternoon right here at Hilton Coliseum against Idaho State. And Lindenwood next plays on Monday as they have their home opener against Hannibal LaGrange.
Yeah, they'll be excited to get back home. They've been on the road here for about 5 days. I'm assuming they took off Sunday to get over to Lincoln, Nebraska to play the Huskers. So they've been gone a while, but you know what? They've bonded together. They've battled here. So it's gotten away from them a little bit in the last couple minutes, but all things that this team can build upon and learn from. And again, Coach Gerdeman said it. They played much better in the second half, and that's what they're going to hope to do tonight.
Gilbert on the line. He's from St. Louis, so playing against the team from his hometown, as Lindenwood located in the western suburb of St. Charles. Cyclones trying to force their turnover, batted out of bounds.
Yeah, and the first time they've turned this pressure into a trap. They've always just kind of backed off after the first pass, but now they're going to turn and pressure this.
4 seconds differential, shot clock, and the end of the first half as David Ware will try to inbound against the 6'9" frame of Hassan Ward. He goes under Ward, no sense of trying to go over him.
Yeah, he's tough to go over when he's on that basketball. Hassan has a lot of length.
And that turnover will give the Cyclones the basketball.
Yeah, when the ball got tipped out of bounds, that 10-second clock doesn't start again at 10. It starts at whatever their count was. So it got away from them a little bit.
Iowa State has a timeout to use, so they're going to use one with 23.9 left to play in the first half.
Yeah, it's a use it or lose it. So they're going to try to draw something up. They're going to try to teach here, see if they can take something from the board and then take it to the floor. So just another teachable moment, no matter how a game is going, no matter where you're at. There's always something that you can do as a coach to put your team in under a little duress or a little stress and see if they can convert something here. So it'll be really interesting to see how long they take with the basketball. At what point do they attack? Because what they don't want to do is attack too early and let Lindenwood come out and get another shot at the other end. So we'll see what they do here towards the end.
Coaches, of course, always do a lot of teaching, but when you're like TJ Oxelberger and you have 9 newcomers on a 15-player roster, that's just a lot of teaching to do.
There's a lot of teaching. You know, a year ago they had so many veteran players, it was just a matter of getting them together to play because they had a lot of guys who had played a lot of college basketball. This team, not so much. So you're teaching a lot of things that last year just kind of fell into place. So it's a different year, a different team, a different mindset, but yet the ceiling is just as high.
People see all these talented newcomers, they say, well, Cyclones will pick up where they left off. They lost their 4 top scorers from last year.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And a lot of those guys were 1,000-point scorers over the course of their career.
Cyclones play for the last shot of the half, up 44-23 at this point, their biggest lead of the night. Lipsey being guarded by Williams. Machilovich pulls up, fires, and scores as the horn will sound to end the first half. Milan Machilovich able to connect with his second 3. He has a 12-point first half. Lipsey has a 15-point first half. And the Cyclones go to the locker room up by 23 points at 46-23 with a big flurry over the last 4.5 minutes of the first half. Iowa State's got the lead at 46-23 at halftime. As the Cyclones saw an 18-point lead cut down to 8, but then they've really spurted and finished the half extremely strong for a 23-point halftime lead. A lot of things, though, the Lindenwood coach Kyle Gerdeman has to be pleased about in the first half of action, and let's find out what some of those are as we toss it over to Michaela Kafer.
I'm here with Lindenwood head coach Kyle Gerdeman. What is something that stood out to you most during this first half of the game?
I think for most of the first half, I was really pleased with how hard we competed. We dug ourselves a hole, and halfway through, we started to fight our way back. So I thought that was a great improvement for us. Considering we kind of started slow on Monday night against another really good team. And then the only other thing, and we're not surprised about it, is their defensive intensity is really good. They're long and athletic. They really try to take you out of your offense, and it's overwhelmed us in spurts, and that's really the difference in it right now is their defensive intensity and just the struggle for us to try to score points.
Michaela Kafer standing by with TJ Oxelberger.
I'm here with Iowa State head coach TJ Oxelberger. Coach, what is the main focus for the Cyclones going into the second half?
Yeah, we want to get the ball in the paint and score more. They're doing a good job playing in gaps defensively. We want to be stubborn to get that ball into the paint, try to score at the rim or get on the offensive boards.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Cyclones trying to start the season 2-0. Lindenwood coming in 0-1 with their loss at Nebraska on Monday night. But one thing that they did much better after turning the ball over 6 times in the first 8 minutes, they only turned it over 3 times the rest of the half. Let's take a look, Coach, at some of the other stats from the first half. And they will show that Cyclones shot it pretty well.
Yeah, they really did. 18-28, that means you're shooting the basketball, but they got the ball in the paint a bunch, which is always going to help, whether you score it down there or it sucks somebody in to kick it out for a wide open shot. So they did a great job there. Points in the paint are 16-4, but even TJ said it, Lindenwood is stubborn of not letting them get to the paint. That's because of the pack line defense. They are set on not letting you get to the paint, which will also open up some wide open shot opportunities for Iowa State.
And so that's why TJ said we're going to go to the paint in the second half.
They're going to try to jam it down there and make them play and see if they can get someone to help and then get it to the next person.
Another significant thing for the Cyclones as we look at those numbers, 13 assists on their 18 baskets.
Yeah, you know what, and that's because they're unselfish. They're going to get the ball. They're going to get it out. They're going to find the open guy. And then even Tamin to, to Gilbert, the one in the corner, he had a wide open shot. He had a good shot, but he knew Gilbert was wide open, had his feet set. So what he did was he just turned a good shot into a great shot, and that's exactly what he did on that particular play. And that's what they try to do, and that's their MO on the offensive end.
You're not used to seeing big offensive explosions from Lipsey. 15 first-half points. His career best is 18 at West Virginia last year.
Yeah, you know what he's done is he's just taking his game to another level. How he can score it, where he can score it from. The threes are going to open more things up for him, but off the bounce, getting to the paint, getting hit and also scoring, hitting a pull-up. So, we talked about, Momcilovic tonight on how many different ways he has scored the ball. Well, Tamin has done the same thing, but yet controlling offensive possessions for him, being the head of the snake on defense, and just doing all those little things that TJ loves. So once you add the offense part into it, it's a whole different dimension.
13,327 on hand tonight at Hilton Coliseum, as the Cyclones get the ball first to begin the second half, coming off that 16-1 run to end the first half.
Yeah, and the Cyclones already have moved the ball to three sides just in this one possession.
Lipsey scoops, leaves it off the iron. Hassan Ward tips it in.
Yeah, when you get the ball down that close, you can go get offensive rebound, drive it around the rim, which Ward did. So, they tried to get Ward going early in the first half on the first possession. Well, they tried to do the exact same thing, screen and roll. Lipsey got it to the rim, and then Ward cleaned it up.
Cyclones take their biggest lead. They tried the lob play for Bean, but the pass was errant. Picked up by Lipsey. He scores, and he's fouled.
Yeah, and Johnny on the spot. We just talked about him taking it to the rim, being able to absorb contact like that, and he can take it, and then he can control himself to get that ball nice and easy off the glass. And there it is, a really great play there by Tamin.
And so Lipsey will go to the line. If he hits this one, he will equal a career best. The sophomore from Ames, former Mr. Basketball in the state of Iowa. He's been working on that three-point shot. Hasn't taken many of those tonight because he had the open lane to the basket due to some very good passing.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And plus, he's had some open lanes as well, because when you have guys on the perimeter who are standing in the corners and spacing out that defense, it just gives him a lot more room to operate, and then he just makes a great decision on whatever's in front of him.
It was Jalen McDaniel who fouled him. That was his third, so Kyle Gerdeman takes him out of the lineup. And he brings Keith Heyman the second in to take his place. Lions looking for their first score of the second half. Got off to a really slow start tonight, trailed 20-2. The ball's taken away from him by Keyshawn Gilbert. Gilbert with the pitch to Momcilovic.
Yeah, Gilbert showing his quick hands on the defensive end.
Ward has the ball batted away, but regains control. Lipsey looks for someone to pass to. Craig King looks for his first points of the night. Not there. The rebound is taken by Isaac Montekanye, and he gets fouled. Hassan Ward committing the personal foul. That'll be his second. We mentioned Lindenwood in their second year making the transition from Division II to Division I. It's a 4-year process. And Ward's going to get another foul as referee Terry Oglesby talks about that vertical rule that you have to leave some space.
Yeah, that rule of verticality. And Iowa State's going to get some of those because they're just going to be aggressive on that screen and roll. And Hassan gets it right here. See how he steps up in him, because you have to give the defender room to be able to make an offensive move or a play or to rip the ball and to go, and he just didn't give him that.
And so Ward will check out of the lineup. And Rob Jones comes in to take his place. Here's Cole taking it to the rack. Missing it badly, but a foul's called.
Yeah, good take there by Cole again. He attacked the basket right there. He took one more hard dribble to get into that contact to get to his shot. Where in the first half he flipped a couple over the top before he got to that contact. Tough shot. So here, look at that, one more hard move, get to the rim, get to the contact, and now he can go and shoot two. Versus the first half, he shot a couple of them over the top, just wasn't quite as aggressive. Well, now he's being rewarded.
Trey King got the foul. Cyclones with an early 3 fouls here in less than 2 minutes to start the second half. Cole with his 13th point. Last year, he had 46% of his threes. Now, when you're making the transition, your numbers don't count in the NCAA stats, that would have been 3rd in the country, according to Coach Kyle Gerdeman.
Yeah, there's no, and they're going to need that. See, they're going to play in some tough places this year. The OVC is no joke. There's a lot of good teams and a lot of tough places to play. So he'll have to step up and do what he's doing tonight against that type of competition.
Gilbert finds Lipsey. Lipsey looks in against that pack line defense. Here's Momcilovic for 3.
Everyone saw the pass by Lipsey, and everyone saw the shot by Momcilovic. But I'll tell you what, Robert Jones turned, sprinted, set a great down screen, and then Milan made a great read off of that for the wide open 3.
Momcilovic is 2 for 4 shooting the 3 ball. Hustling to the floor, Gilbert trying to get it. And the players scrap for it.
Yep.
The officials quickly get in.
And there's Big Rob. He's not going to let you take the ball on the live ball, and he's not going to let you take the ball when the ball goes dead either. But here it is right here. There's that quick down screen right there by Big Rob. And then Momcilovic is wide open. There's no help off of that screen.
Tie ball, and so the ball will stay in the Lindenwood end of the court. And inbounding will be Nathan Johnson Jr., whose mom and dad both played basketball at Nebraska.
Yeah, Nate Johnson was an unbelievable
You
player.
remember him?
Yeah, and I remember his wife as well. Yes, both.
Yeah, they were both outstanding.
His mother, both outstanding.
Oh, absolutely. Pull up by Heyman, won't go. Rebound by Gilbert. Keyshawn Gilbert, really good hops at 6'4". Gilbert, coast to coast, misses the layup, but draws the foul.
And that's one thing that TJ talked about. They have that dimension this year, whether it's Gilbert, whether it's Curtis Jones, whether it's Tamin, and here it is right here, and even Milan a bit. They can get the ball off the glass, and they can bust out with that basketball and get shots not only at the rim early, but also maybe shots against an unset defense. So those are things that you've seen more out of this Iowa State team early here this season.
Gilbert, the transfer from UNLV, where he was the 2nd leading scorer last season at 11 points a ball game, had 25 points against Washington State. He has 8 points tonight.
Yeah, he's proven that he can be a good defender, that he can get up in those passing lanes. He's proven tonight, you've seen his quick hands. He's proven tonight he can make a 3, and now he's proven he can take it coast to coast to get to the rim. So he adds a lot of dimension to Iowa State this year.
TJ Ochlenberger really likes his aggressiveness. Heyman had a notion, decided not to shoot. Taking it to the baseline is Bean, and the rebound is taken by Jones. He outlets to Gilbert. Gilbert tries to whip a pass inside. Johnson gets a hand on it, but somehow coming up with the basketball, Trey King.
And Trey got a little excited. He just stopped the backward on that one. Can't do that. That's an automatic one for the official. You can't be mad at the official because you got to call it. But here, Gilbert couldn't quite get it to him, but then Big Rob Energy did, and then Trey got the technical foul. So that's going to slow us down here just a little bit. Would have had the crowd going crazy on this defensive possession, but now you're not going to get it. So hopefully Lindenwood could knock one down here and take away a little bit of this building, because you know Hilton can get loud and get on top of you.
TJ Ochlenberger saying, yep, I'm going to make a note of that. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yep.
Keenan Cole knocks down the free throw, has been to the line 6 times and has hit 5 of them tonight. Jalen McDaniel with 3 fouls back onto the floor for Lindenwood.
Yeah, you can't save him. You know, if he's going to be one of your guys, you got to play him and let him go and let him decide when he's going to get the fouls or not. So Coach Gerdeman, I think, makes a really good play there and gets him back on the floor. Try to get him as many minutes here tonight as you can early in this season.
Cole inbounds. And bringing it up is Colin Ruffin. He is a freshman from Nixon, Missouri, one of 8 new players on this Lindenwood roster between transfers and freshmen.
And they're just trying to learn each other. One thing they did this summer, though, is, you know, they went for 7 days over to Italy and spent 7 days and played 3 games. So that's just a lot of time together to learn who you are, how you react to different situations, and then also play 3 games. So they did a lot of that this summer.
Not a coach in America doesn't talk about the team building and how great that is.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And that's a really good pass right there, and a great finish by Cole. It's something I've been fortunate to be on, and those are fantastic teaching moments, together moments, culture moments, and just everybody coming together for a common cause.
Blues foul. Gives a 3-point play the old-fashioned way to Cole. And Cole doing an outstanding job tonight, once again leading Lindenwood in scoring. He is now at 16 points.
And here, first time I've seen this from Lindenwood tonight. Looking at a little bit of zone here. See if they can break up
Lipsey finds Blue, and Blue finds 2.
Yeah, and what Blue did there, he just sat behind that zone and sat behind that zone until Lipsey got free, made someone step up, and when you step up away from the rim, you're going to give up a layup or a dunk if you can deliver the basketball, and that's what happened right there. They just let Omaha just stand behind it.
Blue with his first 2 of the night. Here's Heyman firing and missing.
It'll be interesting to see if Lindenwood plays zone out of this transition.
Lipsey finds Momcilovic, but he cannot hang on to that hard pass. And so with 16:04 left in regulation, it will be Lindenwood basketball.
Yeah, and the reason we talked about getting back defensive transition in that zone, because even Coach Gerdeman said one of their Achilles heels has been defensive transition this year. So that's one thing Eagles are working on every single day, and they hustled back, did a little bit better that time.
And the Cyclones are a team that will make you defend transition or you're going to get beat.
Yeah, they will make you pay in a minute.
Ruffin trying to set up the offense. They clear out for him. Nothing going there, so he finds Talton. Here's Bean pulling up, firing. Bean misfiring, and the rebound is taken by Momcilovic.
Yeah, that's Bean's 3rd time. He's taken 2 or 3 hard dribbles and beat his defender and rose up and made a good play. Just hasn't been able to go on any of those. But he's gotten to his shot.
Bean showing no hesitation to put up the ball, by the way.
No.
Timeout with the Cyclones leading it 59-29. You're watching college basketball on Big 12 now on ESPN+.
Makes a really hard guard.
And done that in 32 minutes, seeing more playing time than, I take that back, done that in 19.5 minutes.
Yeah, well, we talked about Cole from Lindenwood. You know, maybe Tamin gets the extra pizza to take home tonight.
Really into that pizza, aren't you?
Yeah, hey, it's on my mind. I know what I'm getting on the way out of town, Larry.
Ruffin with the rebound, gets it inside to Cole, and Cole gets fouled. Omaha Blue picking up the foul.
Yeah, just got to slide your feet there a little bit better. But Cole's done a good job of putting pressure on the rim tonight. When he's made good decisions after that, he's really done a good job with the basketball.
So inbounding it will be Tommy Williams. Williams chased by Blue on the defense. People talk about the offensive potential of Blue, but a good defensive player as well. Here's the pull-up by Ruffin that won't go. And the rebound is out of bounds, and it will stay at the Lindenwood end.
Yeah, Coach Osselberger and his staff have really talked about Omaha on his aggressiveness, on his communication, on being able to sprint and run in transition to finish plays, about all those things. So all the other stuff that people want to see will come, but he's done all those things early, and that's really a staple of TJ and his program.
Talton in and out. How quickly did Lipsey get up the court?
Yeah, that was not only fast, but then he went to that little in-out move with the basketball to get by the defender, and that was even maybe more fast. Yeah, we're going to see it right here. Here he goes, 1-2 move, and yeah, he's 2 dribbles, and he's already making a move at the other free throw line. So he covered a whole bunch of ground right there in a short amount of time.
Somehow Ruffin caught up with him enough to foul him.
Yeah, I'm not sure how. He was on the dead sprint.
Sure either.
Tamin has a basketball in his hands.
Absolutely. There's Curtis Jones back on the floor for Iowa State. Ballou tries to make a move against McDaniel. Couple of moves, and then gets fouled by McDaniel. Good job by Ballou of forcing the foul.
Absolutely. Same thing as the other night. When he had his 2 baskets in the first half, he took his time. He crab dribbled down, and then make the defense make a play. We got McDaniel to go to the middle of the floor. He just turns, goes baseline, goes right up to him. So a really good play there, and again, good patience by Omaha.
Omaha Ballou, the highest recruited signee in Cyclone history. So with that comes a lot on your shoulders when you're just starting your career.
And especially when you're playing in front of a whole bunch of people that knows who you are and, you know, and where you go and where you eat and, you know, how you did in high school. And then they know everything about you. So there's a little more of a spotlight on you than normal if you go away for college. So, you know, good for Tamin Lipsey. He's handled it so well, and I'm sure he's got some suggestions for Omaha. He'll do just as well.
Ballou went to Waukee High School, of course, the suburb of Des Moines, averaged 22 points a game in his senior year and 10 rebounds. He has 4 points tonight, equaling his output of the other night against Green Bay, and the Cyclones take their biggest lead of the night. Tommy Williams trying to get around Ballou. Ballou gets a hand on it. Picked up by Jones and in deep. Trying to score is Gilbert and can't, and the rebound claimed by David Ware.
Yeah, good play there. Good play there by Cole.
Steal by Curtis Jones. Jones, the transfer from Buffalo, where he was third-team All-MAC last year. He's going to take it to the rack. Doesn't get the score, gets his own rebound. Great hustle by Jones.
Yeah, great play there, a falling own shot. And then Robert right down the middle. Good play. And I wanted to point it out earlier, and a great basket there by Robert Jones, because, you know, he isn't always the greatest around the rim, but he was right there, and he's gotten better at that. But the possession before defensively, Iowa State was able to put Gilbert on the ball, a little bit bigger, a little bit more length than maybe Lipsey, and it allows Lipsey to roam around in the back and be able to get after the basketball or get after some loose balls.
13:59 left to play in the ball game. The Cyclones lead it by 34 points. Your biggest lead up by 34. Let's go to Michaela Kafer.
Last year was the first season as a D1 program for Lindenwood. Head coach Kyle Gerdeman had shared that this transition has led them to navigating through what he wants to build, not only within the roster, but the program itself. The past year was filled with lots of excitement and newness, but now Lindenwood is faced with more expectations as a true D1 program.
Robert Jones at the line, knocks down the free throw to complete the play. And Jones tonight with a total of 7. And the Cyclones up to 35-point advantage, their biggest of the night. And again, have held the Lions to 29 points now through almost 26 minutes of play.
Yeah, once Lindenwood made that little bit of a run, Iowa State got a little more focus on the defensive end, and that's how they created most of their offense.
Ruffin brings it out, and the Lions will reset their offense. Shot clock is at 5. Bean runs out of time and has it taken away by Demarion Watson. Curtis Jones finds Machilovic, and he finds another 3.
Well, the great plays there. Great play by Curtis Jones. He's in transition. Probably hasn't scored as much as maybe he did in the summer in the preseason, but what's he do? He just cuts that floor, tries to find the other side, and finds Milan over there, and just a great pass right on the numbers, and a great shot.
Momchilovic, 3-4-5, shooting the 3 ball. Ball poked away by Momchilovic, and he's going to pick up a foul in the process.
Yeah, and we have a whole bunch of Cyclone fans not happy with that call, but there's going to be a whole bunch of that this year, because if you're not set, and as some officials say, you're not there for a day, it's going to be a tough call.
It's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's again the new rule where the defender has to be in that legal position, which means standing still, both feet on the floor, and then the player in the air has to get his second foot down, and you already have to be in that position ahead of that.
And that's going to be hard, especially if it's a secondary defender. You know, if you're beat the primary defender, won't be there, but that secondary defender, it's going to be hard to get there, get set, take it in the chest before that offensive player takes off. That's tough business defensively.
Jeremiah Tolton at the line, just his second year in college basketball, played at a community college, John Woods College last year, averaged 22 points a game and was a second-team junior college All-American. And Kyle Gerdeman thinks he has a huge upside in the program at Lindenwood.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Coach Gerdeman's a great evaluative talent. Kyle Campbell's on that staff, and those guys have really done a great job, along with now Coach Bean on staff. So they're going to do a great job of putting together this staff as they move, or this team as they move forward.
Jones a takeaway, Jones a score, almost. It looked like it was going to rim out. I had to hesitate, but it did drop.
Yeah, you did. It tried to score it out, but a really good play there and finishing on the other side of the rim. You know what? Gilbert's done a good job, but now he's at the point when you have Tamin out. So just a different look here for Iowa State.
And again, Gilbert, the transfer from UNLV, brings a lot of excitement to that backcourt alongside Lipsey. Takeaway by Jones once again. He's going to get another layup, and this time makes it look a little easier.
Yeah, no doubt about that. An unselfish play, scoring in transition before the defense gets set. That's been a point of emphasis. And just a little bit of tweaking the roster and how many guards they can put on the floor, you're going to see a little bit more of that.
Cyclones on a 12-0 run. And the rebound by Momchilovic.
Yeah, and this media timeout can't come quick enough for Coach Gerdeman.
Lot for him to try to unravel as Momchilovic shows his range. Not this time, in and out. And the rebound taken by Ware. 11.5 left to play. Iowa State enjoying a big run right now. And a 41-point lead. Look at this finish by Trey King.
Yeah, great ball screen defense, a lot of activity, kind of an errant pass. Receiver doesn't know it's coming. That's going to turn into 2 on the other end very quickly.
Cyclone run is 14-1. And you're right, the dead ball can't come soon enough for Kyle Gerdeman to get his team that is clearly rattled right now back into some semblance with some poise and calm down a little bit. Shot clock is at 6. Trying for the takeaway is Keyshawn Gilbert. He gets the foul. And with that, we get a timeout. 10:55 left to play. The Cyclones exploding in the second half after outscoring Lindenwood 16-1 to end the first half. And you're watching college basketball. Freshman Milan Machilovic. The name may be hard to say, but his game is easy to like.
Yeah, it's pretty simple right there. When you can fade away right shoulder, baseline, and do that, and put nothing but the bottom. Coming off that pin down that we talked about earlier, made a great read and got it, and then in transition, sprint the floor, get your feet set, get a great pass, and then do what you do best, and that's shooting the basketball. So when you have that skill, but yet can take it down to the block like he did right there, and hit that turnaround and another turnaround also in the first half. Yeah, that's like we talked about. Lipsey being a hard guard, that's a hard guard because you don't know where to play him because he'll go another direction.
Complete domination by the Cyclones. They're on a 14-2 run. They finished the first half on a 16-1 run, so they have outscored Lindenwood since that point 43-9.
Yeah, it's like coach speak, how you want to finish a half and how you want to start a half. Well, they have done that tonight after Lindenwood made a little bit of that push to compete and get back in a little bit of the game. Iowa State is just taking total control.
And speaking of how you finish, Keyshawn Gilbert with a pretty good finish.
Absolutely. I mean, he can do that. He can get that ball downhill. He can get it to the paint. He can get it to where he can score it, or if someone's got to help, then he can find someone else who can get the ball to the rim.
Tamin Lipsey on a career night with 18 points on the bench right now, getting a little bit of a rest, and he earned it.
Yeah, no doubt about that one.
6 seconds on the shot clock. Only one basket in the second half for the Lions. 2 seconds on the shot clock. They're not going to get one that time. Jones to Gilbert.
Yep, and again, once you get late shot clock, and they're going to switch that out every single time late, and they're going to show their hands. You've seen very quick hands here tonight by the Cyclones. And Curtis Jones and Gilbert have been in a lot of them.
Foul called on Heyman, and that will be his first foul. As far as the team fouls go, that is the 7th on Lindenwood, so both teams now in the bonus for the final 9:43. Up next for Iowa State, Idaho State on Sunday, a noon game here at Hilton Coliseum, and then a week off. They don't play for another Sunday, and we'll take on Grambling on November the 19th right here at Hilton Coliseum for heading for the ESPN Events Invitational in Orlando, and a date with Virginia Commonwealth.
Yeah, that's right. You know, and they play these 3 games these first 7 days, and it's good for them because you're tired of practice, you're tired of beating up on each other, you want to play somebody else, and they come fast and furious. Well, what that's going to do now is allow them to take a big deep breath, take a day or so off, watch a bunch of film, go get better on what they see as their weaknesses, try to build upon their strengths, and then get ready for that game that following Sunday. So after these 7 days, they're going to want 7 to get ready for the next one.
Curtis Jones with those 2 free throws, 9 points in his second game as a Cyclone out of the University of Buffalo. McDaniel in all kinds of trouble. Cyclones surround him and he travels.
Yeah, he did. You know, and when you fill 3 people, you just got to set your feet and turn and say, you know what, I don't think I'm getting this to the rim, and then look for the next guy. Because someone, because they're doing a decent job of spacing, someone will be open, and then maybe to the next one for a shot. So once you get in there and you fill 2, and especially 3, rip that ball and get it out of there.
20th turnover by Lindenwood. But remember, this is a Cyclone team that last year forced opponents to turn it over 25% of their offensive possessions. That was second best in the country.
Yeah, and that's what they do. That's what they live on, and that's what they feast on. People trying to take that ball to the rim, bringing in another defender on pick and rolls, and they try to be aggressive and really use their strength, their size, their length, and their athleticism. And now this year, I feel their hands are really quick. So that's what's gotten a lot of those turnovers here tonight.
Lipsey on an 18-point night, back onto the court for Iowa State. He teams with Curtis Jones, Omaha Baloo, Rod Jones, who takes it right to the rack there and scores again, and we'll get to the line again.
Yeah, and Jones to Jones right there. Really good pick and roll, great spacing in the corners, and then I really want to give Curtis Jones a shout out here. I mean, he has really played within himself tonight. Again, just not overly scoring the ball like you keep hearing about, but he doesn't come out and force shots. He's just going to make plays within himself, and that's a great example of it right there.
I was pretty impressed with him the other night against Green Bay, though he didn't shoot it well, was 0 for 5. But it seems like his floor play was very solid, and tonight he's put it together with some offense.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, you know, he's just been fantastic, I think, in these 2 games. I really like what he brings to the team. He's 3 for 9 tonight, but he doesn't come out and he doesn't force anything, even though he was 0 for 5 or whatever it was the other night. So that's allowed him to get to 3 for 9, but it's also allowed him to set up his teammates just because of the way he plays, his demeanor on the floor.
And we were talking about Robert Jones, not the greatest free throw shooter of all time. 4 for 4 tonight, and the crowd gives him a good-natured round of applause.
Yep, no doubt about it. Hoping that good-natured round of applause just turns into a round of applause. Maybe people will start expecting it.
That would be a great thing for the Cyclones.
Yep, no doubt about it, because he's going to earn free throws. Because that's just what Big Rob Energy does. That's who he is. That's what he's about, and everybody knows it.
Being out and roughing in for Lindenwood. With just under 9 to play, and the Cyclones, who put 85 on Green Bay, already have 82 on Lindenwood.
Yeah, it's been an offensive explosion, like you said, right before the half and then to this point.
Michilovich missing the 3. And in a scrap for the rebound, foul whistled against Iowa State.
I believe that's going to be on Omaha, but a good scrap down there by both teams on that missed shot. Good find by Lipsey. Didn't quite go from Michilovich, but a good scrap on the other end. So Ware gets to go to the line here.
Blue with his 3rd foul. David Ware returning starter for Lindenwood. As Milford, Virginia, started his career at Chattanooga State. Didn't score the other night against Nebraska, so he's looking for his first points of the season, and he has it right there. You mentioned the trip to Italy that Lindenwood took earlier this year, and when you have so many new faces, and for Lindenwood it's 8 new players, that does such a terrific job of team building that by the time, it's not so much the 3 games you play, right? It's the time you spend over there.
Yeah, sometimes it's not the greatest of competition, and of course you want to play, but at the end of the day, they want to get to know each other, get in some different situations. They're just, you're not used to being in a foreign country. You're not used to going out and try to get a meal or try to find a taxi to get to where you're going. So you got to go in groups of 2 or 3 and 4 and work together. And then tonight, hey, what are they trying to do? Hey, let's try to stay together and just keep competing here throughout this game.
Blue has it blocked, but Jones picks it up and puts it in.
Yeah, once again, they get the ball right down to the rim. Great spacing, great cut. Blue couldn't quite get it, but there's Jones to clean it up.
Dozen points for Jones tonight. That's Robert Jones, or Big Rob Energy, as opposed to Curtis Jones, who has 9 points.
Yes, we're definitely going to have to differentiate a little bit more this year when we have 2 Joneses on the floor.
Here's Ware just trying to get something going for Lindenwood. Baskets have been hard to come by. Just 1 field goal for Lindenwood in the second half thus far, and that's still the case with 1 on the shot clock. That shot would not go down by David Ware.
Yeah, and Iowa State going to run a set here.
Iowa State a chance to work on some things, and in a couple of minutes, probably T.J. Ochlenberger a chance to put some players who have not seen a lot of playing time onto the court. Meanwhile, Lipsey drives, scores, and on a career night for him, he has 20. And again, his previous best, 16 last year at West Virginia. Lead right now at 86-33 would be the most lopsided win of the T.J. Ochlenberger era if that holds. Let's take a look at some other scores around the Big 12 Conference tonight. Let's go back to a Monday night game. Kansas State, one of just 2 Big 12 teams to have lost this year. Big 12 12-2 entering play tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You see the Big 12 right there doing Big 12 things. The first game was in Vegas a few nights ago on a neutral floor. Baylor Auburn was up at Sioux Falls at the Pentagon neutral floor. And then you see, last night Tech getting after Commerce, and then of course Baylor and TCU getting after JVU in Omaha tonight. Again, the Big 12 is, I think, really flexing the muscle on how good they can be this year.
Yes, off to that 12-2 start. And at the free throw line, Tamin Lipsey, all he's done tonight is a career best 20 points, 7 assists, 1 turnover, 2 steals.
Yeah, and you know what? And what we just saw was when he attacked that rim, right before the media timeout, so he turned, went back, and then just changed speed and direction. He got right into that defender and got up for an N1. So just a fantastic play.
To see a guy like that, unanimous all Big 12 freshman a year ago, and you say, where can he get better? And there are places that he found to get better.
Yeah, and you know what? That's not only a testament to him, but his staff just broke down all kinds of film. His staff worked like crazy with them, put together a plan, but then his work ethic came in and made the plan work.
Amaro Lado, the transfer from Hawaii, first action tonight, knocks home a 3. Just the second basket of the second half for Lindenwood on a night that the Cyclones played it close for a while. Lindenwood within 10 at 30-20, and then the Cyclones exploded.
Yeah,
and did not look back.
Yeah, Amaro Lado, transfer from Hawaii. He's lucky it's not 20 degrees right now. He's like, it was 60 out today.
Yes, he's have a rude awakening at some point.
Yep.
Jones called for the foul. We're making a Hassan Ward call for the foul, and that's his fourth.
Yep, I love the aggressiveness on Hassan Ward. He started out with the basket tonight, because I think he only had one the other night, but love his aggressiveness, love his length, chase down that ball, and that's going to get him nothing but more tips, more loose balls as the year progresses.
Another of the Cyclone newcomers, Jackson Pawelewski, comes in for the first time tonight, the transfer from Wofford, where he was the Southern Conference Player of the Year a year ago.
Yeah, and a really good player. And if you're going to go to Wofford and be a player of the year in that league, you're going to be a really good basketball player, and he's that. That's a great basketball league. Wofford has been a great program for a long time, and he showed why the other night when he came into this game.
Loses the basketball that time to Colin Ruffin. Ruffin trying to beat Curtis Jones, and he does.
Yeah, good play there by Ruffin. Again, takes some contact, got through the left hand off the glass. Good play.
The biggest win in the Oxelberger era so far was a 49-point victory over IUPUI back in 2022. A moment ago was 53, but now the Lions trying to cut into that lead just a little bit. It was 53, as we mentioned. Here's Jones misfiring on the shot, but the rebound is taken by Ward. Ward pitches it back outside to Pawelewski, an open look for Curtis Jones.
Couldn't quite get it, but again, Ward going in there. I know he got the foul, the possession before, but that time went in there and got a tipped and loose ball for a wide open 3. Just didn't fall.
Cole, a nice ball fake to get into the lane, missed the shot, but drew the foul.
And those are things TJ talks about. We want to keep the ball out of that paint, and that time Lindenwood drove it right down the throat, got to the paint, got a shot up, and then gets fouled. So can't have that. They got to keep that ball out of there, and that's one thing that they're going to talk about after Sunday's game on those 7 days. Those will be some of your highlights that you're going to teach from.
Curtis Jones getting the foul, sending Keenan Cole to the foul line. Cole, a 17-point night, so 14 at Nebraska, 17 so far tonight. And he is the one that the Lions are going to be looking to be their scoring leader this year.
Yeah, no doubt about that. He's done a great job. He has made some really good plays down in Nebraska, has been really good tonight. Guess what? He wants to be the scoring leader. He just made every single scouting report for sure. So it'll be interesting to see how they do here the rest of the season. Got
23 at Tennessee Tech last year, which was a career high. Tell us a bit about Jackson Pawelewski. I know you're very high on him.
Well, I am. I only saw him play the other night, but I just know the level of that conference. I know the level of that team. And if you're the player of the year in that league and you play for Wofford, you're a really good basketball player. But he just has a lot of good guards in front of him right now. But if someone can go down, he's someone who can come in and give you really solid minutes because his IQ seems really high.
Liddell looks for 3, and it's in and out and into the hands of Trey King. And then King gets tied up. King with 4 points tonight, but 5 rebounds and 4 steals and 4 assists. Yeah, so it's not always about his scoring. It's about the other things he can bring you.
There's no doubt about that. And right there's another example of it. So if he just keeps doing those, every other night, every third night, his points will come along, but he's going to stay on that stat line.
Here's Pawelewski, as we mentioned, he's from Wofford University, but from the Midwest, from Kimberly, Wisconsin.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, he made a great hesitation right there, a great crossover, and to the rim quick. Look at that crossover to the rim quick, and then through contact to finish. Just a really good by him, and just a smart basketball player. But what helps him, when you have a shooter in the corner, you can't help off, so it's a one-on-one going down there.
A prolific scorer in high school at Kimberly, Wisconsin. He averaged 30 points a game in his senior year. Got 2 the other night against Green Bay and completes a 3-point play there. A 50-point Cyclone lead at 90-40.
Yeah, and a great 3-point play there by Pawelewski. I'd kill for his game, Larry. I'd kill for his head of hair. I'd kill for both of those things right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure you have a chance with either one.
I'm 0 for 2 on that one.
So Lindenwood brings the ball up the court with just under 5 to play on a night when TJ Oxelberger could have his largest margin of victory at Iowa State. Here's the fall away by Johnson that won't go. And coming out with the rebound is Curtis Jones. He's really done a lot of things well tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, no, I really like his game. He's been patient. He lets the game come to him. He's made great decisions. And then all the things you hear about, how well he shoots it, how well he scores it, all that stuff. When that starts coming along, well, now he's really complete.
The tip in by Trey King.
Yeah, Jones to Pavletsky getting off on the rim. Couldn't quite get it, but boom, all of a sudden Trey King goes and cleans that up. Because when you can get that ball close to the rim, Larry, those offensive rebounds are there for the taking.
Back to Curtis Jones a moment. 9 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 turnover, and 5 steals.
Yeah, give him credit. He's had really active hands tonight as well. So that's probably the one part of his game we haven't talked about. That's a great catch by you. And another rebound.
And Jones, add that to his rebound total. So he's putting together a terrific line in his second year. Played at Buffalo 2 years, averaged 15 points a game last season at Buffalo and made the third-team All-MAC Conference team. Got a 32-point performance against St. Bonaventure last year. So, yes, Curtis Jones can score at a high level, but he adds so much more.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. He a really good basketball player and a really good high IQ. He just always just making the right basketball play, and there's no overlooking that.
Caden Fish, who wears number 11, a freshman from Kansas City, has come onto the floor for Iowa State here in the final 4 minutes of the game. Watson tries to get the pass to Fish, and it's batted out of bounds, and a foul is called. And that brings us to a timeout with the 4.5-minute mark in the first half. They lead at 92-40. Let's look ahead for these teams and what's on the horizon.
Yeah, look at Lindenwood. You know, they have a non-division one here coming up on the 13th, and then they're going to go out to Air Force for 3 games. They're going to play Air Force at their home place, then get Omaha and William & Mary on a neutral floor out in Colorado Springs. So a good chance to play a good Air Force team, and then 2 teams on neutral, and then Utah Tech back at home.
And as far as the Cyclones, they will be in action again on Sunday.
Yeah, Idaho State right here. I believe it's a noon game. And then that 7-day off that you've already talked about with Grambling. So it'll be interesting to see what they work on that 7 days. And then going down to that tournament in Orlando with VCU. And then you see the Boise State, Virginia Tech, and all those teams down there at the Milk House right there on at Walt Disney.
And you will be there doing Cyclone Radio, I understand.
I will be there doing the radio. So that'll be a fun trip being around these Cyclones for those days.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. 3:33 remains. Lopsided Iowa State win tonight. Watson with the steal. Jones looks to finish and batted away from behind by Nathan Johnson Jr. Iowa State scored 35 points off 21 turnovers for Lindenwood. They have 46 points in the paint. That's what TJ Oxelberger wanted to see more of. Points in the paint, and Lindenwood has only 8 points in the paint. Yeah,
no doubt about that. And a lot of it came up that loose ball, but Caden Fish got over there to really help that drive and to disrupt the offensive players. So give him credit on that.
And that's going to be an offensive foul whistled against Caden Fish. Not a tough call that time.
Nope, like the aggressiveness though. He just can't go through somebody, but He was looking to make the next play. The defender just made a good play there right before the pass.
Should have stayed tuned. When this game is over, we'll have the chance to visit briefly with one of the Cyclone stars tonight. You know whose star is shining the brightest. That would be Tamin Lipsey on a career scoring night for him. Fish commits the foul.
And that goes right back to our rule. He comes over as a secondary defender, but couldn't quite get his feet down, get set before they were getting ready for that shot. So that's going to be a block almost all year long. So but Caden Fish, great hustle, just not quite there.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot fewer charges. Tommy Williams has his first point for Lindenwood. If you joined us late, we talked several times about Lindenwood making that tough transition just in the second year of going from Division II to Division I. And the big difference is who you recruit and how you recruit them. Omaha Blue springs high to pull down the rebound for the Cyclones. Here's Pavletsky. Blue, Jones, Fish. and Blue. All newcomers on the floor, while 4 of the 5, Demarion Watson being the lone exception. Omaha Blue with a 6-point night.
No doubt about it. Lindenwood tried to come and trap that late, but Blue did a really good job. One quick hesitation and then a quick move to split that trap and not let that trap get set to get to the rim. And speaking of hesitation, great play right there.
Did everything but finish, did Johnson?
Everything but, yeah, no doubt about that. The old $1 million move and a 25-cent finish, but it was a great move.
Paveletzky grabs the rebound for Iowa State. So now everybody on the Cyclone lineup who has played has scored except Caden Fish. And sure as I say that, that changes.
He was Johnny on the spot on that one. We talked about earlier. If you can get the ball close and get it to the rim, offensive rebounds will come if you go. And Paveletzky got it in there and Fish came in and cleaned it up.
He handled that cue very well, didn't he?
No doubt about it.
Final 2 minutes of play.
Good extra passes by Lindenwood. Good unselfish play. Great basket there at the end.
They have not gotten many of those to go down tonight as Talton knocks down the 3, his second 3 of the night.
Yeah, so they could have fired up a bunch of shots here, but instead they want to have a great possession like that and just keep moving it, and that's what they did. So give Lindenwood credit there. They're just trying to stay true to themselves despite the score here.
Just 6 of 22 shooting the 3 ball tonight, the story for Lindenwood. And again, right now, as this score stands, this would be the biggest margin of victory in the TJ Oxelberger era. 49 points against IUPUI on November the 7th, 22 was the previous number. Paveletzky lets fly. And the rebound grab by Conrad Holly, always a crowd pleaser. And Paveletzky becomes a crowd pleaser by drilling the 3 ball.
Well, Holly runs that thing down. He found it. I had a real opinion that Paveletzky was not going to miss that second one. Another good extra pass by Lindenwood. Another good extra pass.
And it results in another 3, that time by Talton. Jeremiah Talton now with 9 second-half points and 14 for the ball game. Second leading scorer for Lindenwood. Paveletzky getting some nice playing time here down the stretch. Sees an opening to the basket.
Great find.
He pitches it back outside.
Yeah, he found 2 defenders, and he knew it wasn't going to be able to get it to the rim, so he just tried to find the open person.
Kate Kelderman also on the court now for the Cyclones, so TJ Oxelberger has played everybody that he has. Of course, 2 Cyclones being redshirted this year, Jelani Hamilton and JT Rock. 32 seconds remain as Jackson Paveletzky has come off the bench and scored a quick number of points, and he gets the pass to Caden Fish for his second basket.
Yeah, great cut by Fish. He was going to go to the backside, and he saw his man cheat it, so he just came right back to the ball hard, and a really good pass by Paveletzky.
Johnson to the rack. Fish goes for the block and gets it.
Yeah, and a great example right there of verticality. That's what they're going to have to do a lot to discount a lot of that rule this year.
Kelderman, the freshman from Waukee, a walk-on. Played on the state champions at Waukee Northwest a year ago, and he's just going to dribble until the clock winds down, and the Cyclones will have their biggest victory in the TJ Oxelberger era as the final score is 102-47 as Iowa State impressively goes to 2-0 on the young season, and Lindenwood drops their record to 0-2. Coaches exchange the handshake, and Coach, you wonder sometimes when it's this wide of a margin what a team gets out of it. What did Iowa State get out of it tonight?
Well, they played hard. They played together. They did what they're supposed to do. When they share the ball, they're going to be really good. They made shots tonight. Other guys did some things that they didn't get a chance to do in the first game. But then defensively is their staple. And what they did was when things it never got dicey. But when Lindenwood got a little more comfortable and made a little bit of a push, well, then the defense stood up, did what Iowa State does, got aggressive, got physical, got tips, got steals with their hands, and got a bunch of runouts and some easy baskets in transition, and that's who they are. So they were through that tonight. It was a great play. It was a great job by them.
Tamin Lipsey, a career night for him, for the sophomore from Ames, who is always a great distributor, but tonight he has a terrific line as he does so many things well, including a career best. Previous best was 16 at West Virginia. Tamin Lipsey, just an overall terrific performance, but tell me about your offense tonight. Were you looking for your shot, or how did that occur?
Just staying aggressive. Our main thing is just to get in the paint as much as we can, and that opened up for me and Keyshawn and the other guards. We were able to get in there and get our own bucket and distribute at the same time.
Coach?
Yeah, you know one thing, Tamin, when you look at your three this year, you seem to really get the ball up a lot quicker, and it's obviously in this first two games gone in for you, right? So you've done a lot of work with that, but also love the way you're finishing at the rim against contact. Tell us about a couple of those things.
Yeah, it's just staying aggressive, staying true to myself. I'm a physical guard, not too tall, but I'm big enough and I can hold my own. So just going in there and absorbing the contact, but staying focused to be able to finish the bucket.
How about some of the new guards that you're working with who take some pressure off you bringing up the ball, Curtis Jones and others tonight?
I love it. I love it. It's great for our team, and that's going to help us a long way in all our games. And once we get in the conference, it's going to help a lot. Just being able to have other people bring it up and run the offense is going to help a lot.
Well, a career best for you, 21 points tonight. Congratulations, Tamin.
Thank you.
Job well done.
Yeah, great game, Tamin.
As the Cyclones score a 102-47 victory before a crowd of better than 13,000 tonight in Hilton Coliseum. Next action for the Cyclones, as we mentioned, Sunday afternoon. You'll see it right here on ESPN Plus.